Hello, how you doing today? My name's Gilberto. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so bear with me. Today I'm going to be interviewing as my digital immigrant, my mother, Enid Mercado. We're going to be going through this, so please bear with us, okay? So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. So, again, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. It's just simple questions based off of experiences that you had growing up with technology and things like that. If you see that any of the questions I asked seem you would like me to repeat, please just ask me to repeat it, and then we'll go from there. This is just so I can get a general understanding of what you went through with technology from growing up through school as well as work and life in general, and how technology has impacted your life with the advances that it's had over time. So, diving into it, my first question is going to be, what is your take on the education system and how we interact today?
The education system, the way I grew up?
Yes. So what we're going to look at is with this question, with the education system and how it was when you were growing up, what kind of technology was being used at the time? How did they introduce it to you? How was the interaction of learning with the teacher to you using those tools?
I can give an example. We had typewriters. That's what was the technology at that time. And how teachers taught you were with textbooks, and they also put up, like the home row keys, they put it up, and you would look at it to learn how to type it, to do the home row keys, to type.
Okay, so the teacher will hold it up on a projector so that way then you could try to learn. Okay, awesome. So, with another question that I'm going to ask was, how would you research topics and discussions for class when there was given, let's say, a research paper or something like that?
We would go to the library and look at the index cards and actually go into the footnotes to find exactly where we can find that information in order to do the research paper.
Okay. So when you were doing this research, there wasn't anything like internet or computers that gave you the availability to look for things a little bit easier?
No. They just had the microchip thing that you put in a thing. It looks like a microscope. You would go in it to find it.
Okay. So, did you feel that your educators or your teachers touched base of all the key components that they were trying to teach you in school?
Not all the time. We didn't have all the resources at times. Sometimes you would have to try to find it on your own, or buddy up with somebody. We would go to the library, and then we would help each other, the students.
Okay. So with that being said, what different ways or tools could the teacher have used to try to help you guys out with giving you that information?
Maybe they could have actually tutored more, or break it down in simple terms, put it in a way that we can understand it.
Okay.
In simple English.
Okay. So with that being said, like while they were teaching you guys, were they giving you the full component of what the book had in it? Seeing as you were explaining to me how they didn't have technology then, did they go through the entire book from cover to cover when they were trying to teach you guys through the textbooks?
No, they would jump around through different, sometimes they wouldn't touch certain topics. They would just skip around.
Did you find that helpful?
No, not really, because it would confuse you a little, because you're going all around. You're not going to the point of what you're trying to teach.
Okay, so you know, basically understanding that the teacher could have made it a little bit more linear if they would have, followed step by step, chapter for chapter. Okay, so did you feel that? I'm sorry. How do you learn on a physical level? Do you do it on a hands-on learning? Do you do it visually? Do you need a combination of both?
Hands-on the majority of the time, but sometimes visual, depending on what I'm learning.
Okay, so with that being said, would you rather watch documentaries and movies, or would you rather read a book to look up a certain topic or research a certain discussion?
I would rather read a book.
Why?
Because the book always has more of the information than a documentary. The book tells you specifically everything. It covers everything.
Okay. So, while learning, do your thoughts drift into topics, or do you find it easier for yourself just to follow a simple format? And with that being said, let's say a teacher's giving a discussion that really interests you, and when they dive into it, do you see yourself being scatter-minded with different ideas and things that are relevant to that topic that they're explaining? Or do you find it more easier for you to have the one-track mind of what the teacher's teaching from point A to Z and then researching back based off of what the teacher taught?
I think a one-track mind, in order to go back to what the teacher taught, go back and research everything and look at what the teacher taught me in order to understand it.
Okay. So then with that being said, do you prefer to do complete projects in group settings? Or would you rather complete them individually?
Individually.
Individually? Why?
Because I think when you're in groups, everybody has their own ideas, but then everybody gets appointed to do something, and that person might not do it, and then it's going to affect you with your grade.
Now, do you feel as if that a lot of that had to do with your restriction on being able to communicate with each other outside of school?
Yes, that was the hard part. That's why we had to do projects on our own. We never really did group projects.
So what was the hard part about doing the projects after school?
We didn't have the technology. We didn't have the computers to research it. You don't have the library there, so when school was in, it's the only time you went to the library.
Okay. So, with that all being said, let's say you did have a tool or a technology to help you with those group projects. Would you see yourself more comfortable in completing group projects at that point?
Yes, if I had the technology and the tools we needed to complete that project, yes.
So what if I told you that there were applications that they have nowadays for the kids in school for them to be able to connect with the other people in their classes? They have something called Google Docs that allows you to be able to link all of your emails together in one, and while I'm working on a PowerPoint presentation from my house, they can see me editing it from their screen on time at that very moment, at the same time that they could be working on their slide, and I can see what they're doing. Now you got a little bit more leniency to know who is and isn't working on the assignment. On top of now you can work on it outside of school, making it a little bit more easier. Now there's more efficiency. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would.
So with that being said also, what type of learning environment do you prefer? Digital online courses, or are you more of an in-person, you'd rather have the teacher in front of you?
I'd rather have the teacher in front of me because you're able to take more notes, and if you have to ask questions in order to try to understand what they're teaching you, the teacher at least is there to help you.
So, would you rather filter information at the moment, or would you rather understand what you're getting yourself into beforehand?
I would rather understand what I'm going to be doing beforehand.
Okay, so when technology was first being administered into schools and education, or even with your job, because I know that you were telling me before that the typewriters were in school for the majority of your years. Did your job or school even give you classes to teach you how to operate the computers?
Just the typewriter.
And that's it?
Yeah, at that time there was really not computers.
Okay. So you could say that it was relatively new. A lot of people didn't understand it,
No.
so it was very hard to hold those classes to teach something that they were still technically new to.
Yes.
Okay. So, are you someone who waits for answers to come to you, or do you seek them yourself?
I seek them myself,
Okay.
the answers.
On a general basis, how would you seek those answers back in the day compared to how would you seek those answers now?
Back in the day, you would have to actually manually seek the answers. Go into books, do research, go to the library, see how you could get the index cards, what can help you to get that information.
Okay. Now, how about nowadays?
Though nowadays you have computers, you have the iPad. People even you can use their telephone, the iPhone, the cell phones. You can use the tablet. Now there's computers, laptop. There's so much technology. We didn't have that back then.
Okay. Now, did you feel that in school the curriculum was easier or harder when you were in school compared to now?
I think it was a little harder because we didn't have all the resources we needed to be successful in school to get the work done.
Okay. So did you feel that the curriculum could have been set with more beneficial information than what was taught?
Yes, the beneficial information should have been there. So when you're alone doing it at home, you have the resources right in front of you, and it will be easier for you to complete that assignment.
what do you think they could have taught in school differently than what they teach now to benefit students? Let's say at a high school level.
Can you ask that question again?
Yeah, so what do you think that they could teach kids that are in high school right now that could benefit them in life when they come out of school? Things like that, that they don't teach now in school.
How to be financially stable,
Okay.
how to do how to be able to manage and budget yourself, with your expenses, doing accounting, knowing your bank account, the
Okay.
account writing, how you balance the book, how do you budget your money, and how you're going to pay your bills.
Okay.
That would benefit them.
All right. So, other questions that I might have too, alongside of that, would be, what impact has technology had in your job?
Now,
Yes.
it makes my job easier.
How?
It makes it easier because it's more efficient for me to put the information in. Once I put it in, everything's already done.
Could you share, like maybe walk us through what you do at your job, step for step with like computers or things like that?
Yeah, what I do is I do medical billing. I actually enter the diagnoses and the procedure codes for the doctors in the system. The system, we just put the diagnosis and it automatically tells you what they are.
Okay.
And then you put in what the doctor's billing. It'll give you the amount and everything automatically once you plug in what you need, the information it needs. It's easy.
So now let's say technology has not made this advancement yet and you were still sitting back in the day like you were in school but now working this job. What do you think they would have implemented alongside this for you to work the job that you're doing now?
Everything would be manual. Everything would be, to me it would be harder. You wouldn't be successful at what you're doing. It wouldn't be efficient. It would be actually more work. It's less time now because it cuts time with the computer.
So you would say that you would probably need way more hands to help you.
Yes.
Okay. So other than that, by any chance, how do you feel after this interview?
I feel good because I know today when you were in school, it was easier for you to do your work and I really didn't have to help.
Right.
Because you had the help already.
Just to give you an understanding on how you just said that, this interview that we're conducting right now is off my iPhone 7 that's sitting on a phone stand. Not to mention I'm controlling everything off of this little button right here for me to be able to press play and pause on the video that's playing right now currently. So this is the advancement of technology that's giving us the availability to be able to do this in school. And let me tell you how this little gadget that I got as well as that stand only cost about $20 all in all in different stores of locations like Five and Below and things like that. And I was able to take advantage, utilize it, and capitalize on the key components for us to be able to complete this today. So I do want to say thank you for allowing me to do this interview, and thank you for all the information you gave me.
You're welcome.
And thank you, class, for watching. I hope you have a good one.